kind of building. You ever been up to Mohawk?
No.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Except that was a fire trap. I stayed there
Mohawk?
one night, Mohawk Mountain.
Yeah.
I stayed there and I said, this is a fire trap. It's all wood and it's
They
creaky.
just redid the whole place.
Just jump in the water.
It's really nice.
No, I would break.
What's going on with all the fire engines in Portchester today? They were all out of the street,
Oh, is that right? No, I didn't.
Westchester Avenue.
Was there a fire?
No, they were all just sitting there, you know, eating donuts or something.
Making lunch or something?
Celebrating the new year.
Yeah.
Stopping traffic to ask for donations.
Oh, it could be. Yeah, with the boot. With the boot.
Maybe Arrowwood should have they should put pickleball courts there.
Probably will.
Hey, is anything?
Yeah.
You know that? No, it's not
They
right.
should have an
It's
igloo
it's
contest.
the corner of Portchester. Betsy
Annual
Brown,
igloo
yeah.
contest.
You know what? It was great till the
Illegal
climate
house that
change.
burned down.
You can't have any igloo contests. It's supposed to snow this weekend.
Yeah.
They supposedly had investigations, a challenge over ownership.
It's been 688
But you
days
see across
since
the
there's
street
been
where they're
in New York
putting those
City
houses, they're bringing in
more
so
than
much
1 inch of
dirt.
snow.
They're
Really?
dumping dirt. There's two
Yeah,
houses.
February,
the four across the
February
street, now they built
2022
the
was the
other
last
two
time it
next to
snowed
the
more
other
than
two.
No,
1
this
inch
is on Betsy
in
Brown.
New York City.
Betsy Brown.
Yeah, what's
You know
you
what?
make that big
That's-
turn? on
Oh
Betsy
yeah,
Brown?
That seems mind-boggling
I don't
to
go
me.
up that way.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
They're putting a
Where they
lot.
took the mansion.
We had maybe
ton
one or
of
2
dirt.
days.
I remember one year, JV, we had I would say all winter, like every
There was snow on the ground.
no, but every other day it snowed, and I mean like for a month, every other day, and I was shoveling, and not like
Yeah,
4 to 8,
and then-
like
yeah.
yeah, like it just never stopped.
It was 3 years ago because
Great, can't get rid of
I
But
we
they're
picked up our
supposedly up
dog,
here now.
first dog ever, December 15th.
Yeah.
December 16th, it snowed 9 inches.
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
And it
Okay,
just snowed
thank you.
all winter.
what kind of dog do you have?
Cavapoo.
Oh,
Yeah. Design. Yeah. Well, design it dog. Nice dog.
yeah.
45 pounds. He's 45. The mom's,
pretty
the
big,
mom's
right?
a standard poodle. So the mom's one of those big. He's got very little.
Okay, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the January 2nd, 2024 meeting of the Rybrook Zoning Board of Appeals. I'd just like to start off the year by wishing everybody a happy new year, healthy new year, and a prosperous new year. With us this evening, we had two scheduled applications. One has been withdrawn due to lack of appropriate notice, so we're dealing with one application this evening and a couple of zoning summaries at the end. With whoever's going to be making the presentation, with us this evening, we have Rybrook Assistant Building Inspector Fred DeVito, Village Council Rob Zitt, representing the Board of Trustees, we have David Heiser. And we have 4 of the board members this evening, and there'll be 3 board members to hear the only one application because of a recusal coming up down the road. If you're going to be making a presentation, please come before the speaker. For video presentation, come before the podium, state your name, your relationship to the applicant, and the nature of the variance. I should also add, by the way, parenthetically, the video is being brought to you by Fred Seifert, hiding in the extremities of Village Hall. First application this evening is ZBA 23-013 Matthew Garry, Lauren Garry, 6 Magnolia Drive, construct rear one-story addition and interior renovations. Please, if you're going to be coming, state.
Do you think there's a way to connect this to use the screens, or?
Yes, there is. If somebody can show.
If not, I
Fred?
can get real close to you with this, just so that you can see.
No,
this.
no, that's okay.
Do you need to say that I'm recusing myself?
You can make the announcement now.
I am recusing myself because I'm within the notification area on this application.
Okay. Now, the implications of that,
Fred DeVito, architect. Nice to meet you. Actually live locally, but.
I'll wait till he's, so he can hear. I think he already knows because he was notified, right?
Micro HDMI, which does concern me a little bit because I know that's probably a little unusual. USB, but I don't know if that'll do it.
I was so nervous that I'd be a half hour late, no matter how many notices I would get. I would be like,
I was thinking you were gonna be here at 8.
I remember I've missed 2 meetings, or at least one, and it turns out there was no meeting, so I'm thinking I must have known, but then I forgot, and coming here and there was no meeting, but I put it in my computer, but it doesn't always pop up, like, I don't know, sometimes you have to look, or you get, like, mine I think pops up 15 minutes before.
Yeah.
So if I'm not at I wouldn't see it, or I miss all
You
the
don't
time.
look at your calendar during the day?
No.
I will not be here in the March meeting.
You'll not be here when?
I will not be here for the March meeting. I'll be all over the place.
I'd look at my calendar, but I don't put anything in my calendar, so I'd have to tell you
Are you
that.
kidding me? What is that, March 5th?
Is that the 5th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fred may have it, I mean, if you wanna go run upstairs.
I'm going to ask Steve
I'll
if
do
he
whatever
can,
they want to
you
do.
know,
I mean, I
Yeah.
position anything
maybe they
on
want me
that,
to
but
speak into the
Yeah.
microphone, but
We'll see.
also
Well, I think when you've not been here once, I think
well,
Steve,
Steve always took care of it.
yeah. Now, what happens if you and Steve aren't here?
action now.
We still have 3.
Joel.
Joel's next, okay.
Joel's not here when I'm having a meeting.
Right.
It's just me and you.
Okay, we're arranging for computing representation, hence the short-term delay.
And you're all good. Great. All right. Now, if you want to use the highly, take your finger. You can take one of these. Take your stylus. Here. And you can draw little faces.
Wow.
This is unofficial. I don't authorize any of this.
Finger over here.
And it goes away. Got it. Okay.
Have we seen that before? The stylus?
No,
Probably won't try to use that because I'll miss
We
it,
have?
so-
we saw the individual control it.
Okay.
Introduce?
I am Evan Sikowski. I'm the architect for Matthew and Lauren Garry. So I am here to you tonight. Here for
Excuse me, before,
the
just to
project. Sure. Yep.
reiterate for the viewing audience, we have 3 people, so
Yes.
in order to have a successful
Correct.
application, you need to get a unanimous vote.
Correct. I was made aware of that.
You were made aware, but
Yes.
the folks
Okay.
in the stratosphere haven't.
Sure.
Please continue.
Sure. So this is an existing 2-story home that was built in the 1980s. The construction of this house predates the modern zoning code that includes gross floor area restrictions. And so today it is now a non-conforming house. It's already over the allowable gross floor area, not by a whole lot. Let's double check what that number is. If we hop over here. Oops. So they are
425.
allowed 3,405 square feet, and the existing house is 3,541. So the project. Let me just do this. Just jump over this for a second. So the bulk. So the bulk of this project is a first floor renovation and small addition in the area of the existing kitchen. Basically, they're looking to update this to modern living standards. Not really changing the program of this space a whole lot. There is an existing powder room there already. There is an existing closet. We're just kind of reconfiguring the space a little bit, but also giving them more functional space than what they have today in the house. In order to achieve what they would like to achieve, we do have to add a very modest 26 square feet of additional gross floor area to the house that is already non-conforming. We really don't feel that there's another way to approach this. We have the dining room space to the right of the existing kitchen. We have to the left over here is this large family room space, but it's actually a 6-inch step down. It's on another level from the rest of the first floor. It just really wasn't practical to try to expand into either of these spaces. It would just have too much of an awkward impact on the existing layout of both of those spaces, and especially with the step and the access from the garage, et cetera, on the left. So again, we felt that the best way to get them what we want, or what they want, is to expand the footprint of the house. And so that's what we've proposed. I can just jump back to the site plan. So here, you can see the footprint of the existing house, which is sort of the lighter area, and then the two shaded areas are where we are looking to expand the footprint and add gross floor area. So again, we feel it's a very modest addition. It gets them what they want out of their kitchen, and we hope that you'll agree.
I'm still a little confused about shaded, not shaded. I'm not getting it. Sorry.
Sure.
I was
I
gonna
guess,
ask the
I guess
same
I'm just
question.
going to use the stylus, I guess. Okay, so the existing
I
house,
was going to make you do it anyway.
yeah,
Okay.
so the existing house
Okay.
does this.
Exist.
Okay.
Okay.
And so we are just adding these two little rectangles at either edge there of that one story. That's an existing piece of one-story construction there.
What is the square footage of each of those? I assume, one, you multiply by 2 and you get the 26?
Yeah, I mean, it should be about 13 square feet
13.
each, yeah.
13.
It's not much. It's about 2 feet each way. is what we're
How,
coming
how did you eventually arrive at that? Was that your first iteration or your final iteration?
It was, I think it was, there were some attempts to make it work within the existing space initially. They just weren't working out. And so we looked at adding this space, again, just to get the function that we were looking for. Sorry, I don't know what's the best thing to look at here. If going back to the plan might be helpful. Getting that additional counter space out of the island, for example, just was going to be very challenging within the narrower footprint.
So
Where
I'm
does that extra space, where does that fit in here?
So, sorry. Oh, now I need to know how to clear this. There we go. Look, that worked. Okay, so we're talking about basically right here, and here. So if we were to squeeze that in, you would really be squeezing in, your cabinetry over, on these sides here. Just would really make this layout in the function that they were looking for again. Not possible.
I'm sorry.
Go
So
ahead.
without those two rectangles, that middle the long, that's the kitchen existing?
Yep, correct.
And because I thought I read somewhere that the square footage allowed than what the house has is a little extra, but then I thought when I did the math myself, I came out to like 140
Yeah.
feet.
You have to go back
So-
to what the original acceptable level is for the GFA.
Oh.
So even though this is an incremental 26 square feet,
yeah.
we have to consider the whole variance from what is allowed.
Right, but I couldn't tell from when I read it that was the, because I think there wasn't a lot in the documents. So when I looked at them, I couldn't tell what was actually being done, and I tried. So that's
The
why
additional, you mean?
Yeah, I
Okay.
couldn't
Yeah, I
s-
guess I thought it was clear on the site plan, but I apologize.
it might have been
if
to
it
you,
wasn't. Yeah.
but to a non-architect
Sure.
layperson
Sure.
looking at the drawings, which I should know better, I just couldn't tell what those two
Understood.
additions were on the side.
I should add, and I didn't want to forget mentioning this, because it does affect the calculation for the gross floor area, which is this area, the entry foyer there, is a two-height space. And the way that the house works, and I know I don't have any images or really a floor plan of the second floor to show you, but you come up the stairs on the left there, they wrap around, there's like a curved stair, so you have that stair that goes down, which goes to their basement, and then this wraps around and reconnects to a landing up here. So there's no usable space in this area, but it has to count the way that gross floor area is counted. So we are definitely impacted by the double counting of the foyer space, even though that's not usable area for them in the house.
Right. I think a point of confusion for probably a lot of viewers is that even though it appears to be a very small incremental variance, the law states that we have to consider the original allowable area.
Okay.
And that makes it less, obvious a call, because we have to determine whether or not this is an egregious addition
Okay,
to the proposed plan.
understood.
Are there any other questions?
Not for me.
Okay. Rob didn't hear it, but we did open the public hearing. So consider the public hearing open. We all agree with that. Is there anyone in the audience, or can I have a motion to close the public hearing if we have no?
So
further-
moved.
Closed.
So, okay, public hearing is closed. Did you contact any, with the official announcement? Has anyone got back to you with respect to,
I haven't received any
Haven't
feedback
received-
either way.
yeah, the village has not received any for or against.
Sure.
So it's obvious there are no one speaking for or against the application. Okay, the only question I have regarding the 5 factors is, do we want to consider this variance substantial or de minimis? It's relatively de minimis with the increment, but it is going back to 140 something, 162 square feet is the actual size of the variance from the allowable. So,
I would say it's the minimus.
You think
What?
so? I'm not sure I think it's de minimis, because if you go back
Right.
and you started this from the beginning,
Right.
and someone wanted to make that incremental change, you could put on 5 feet every year. And then you would say it's de minimis, de minimis, de minimis, de minimis. So I'm not so,
almost sounds like a rap song.
right? So I'm not sure that it would be de minimis, but it is, to Jamie's point, from where it is now.
Yeah.
So I guess it really depends, where do you want to look at it from? At what point?
Yeah, I think, let the record show by virtue of our discussion of this concern that you expressed. But I would say that it is a de minimis, considering that it is the first and only one that's come before us. But if that happens in the future, then it's something that we should consider. Okay, let me go ahead and read the resolution. Whereas an application has been made to the Rybrook Zoning Board of Appeals by Evan Sikowski, R.A., on behalf of property owners Matthew and Lauren Garry, the applicants for a gross floor area variance of 162 square feet, where the maximum GFA allowable is 3,405 feet pursuant to Village Code 250-20, Section E, in connection with the proposed construction of a rear one-story addition and interior renovations resulting in a proposed GFA of 3,567 feet at a single-family residence located at 6 Magnolia Drive, known as Section 136.21, Block 1, Lot 18 on the Town of Rye tax map in the R15A zoning district. Whereas a duly advertised public hearing on the application was held before the Village of Rybrook Zoning Board of Appeals on January 2nd, 2024, at which time all those wishing to be heard in the application were given such opportunity. Whereas the board closed the public hearing on January 2nd, 2024, and whereas the proposed action is a Type 2 action pursuant to the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, and accordingly no further environmental review is required. Whereas the board, from the application after viewing the premises and neighborhood concerned, and upon considering each of the factors set forth at Section 250-13, Section G, Part 2, Item B, Numbers 2A through E of the Rybrook Code, finds with respect to the variance. The variance will not create any adverse impact to the character of the neighborhood. The benefit the applicants seek cannot be achieved through another method feasible for the applicants to pursue that does not require the variance. 3, the variance is not substantial. The variance will not create any adverse impacts to the physical or environmental conditions of the neighborhood, and now the need for the variance is self-created. Now therefore be it resolved that said application for a gross floor area variance of 162 feet, where the minimum GFA allowable is 3,405 feet, pursuant to Village Code 250-20, Section E, in connection with the proposed construction of a rear one-story addition and interior renovations resulting in a proposed GFA of 3,567 feet, is hereby provisionally granted. subject to the following conditions. No permit or certificate of occupancy shall be issued until the applicants have paid in full all application and consultant fees incurred by the village in connection with the review of this application. Let me also ask my fellow board members, since we're pushing the GFA, do you feel a condition is necessary on doing anything above this first floor addition?
I was thinking about that. Is it possible to build above it?
Not without another variance.
No, I know,
Well, and
but
that's the
what's,
thing, I mean, so anything's possible, sure. I mean, and yes, there's foundation below this, and we're adding some structure to support the additional little wings that we're adding, so.
So
Is your question is it technically feasible to build above it?
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
We know it is. The
Yeah,
question
yeah.
is, do we want to impose that condition?
But-
Normally, whenever there's a portico or anything, we've always been concerned about
Yeah.
that. But in this particular case, if you were to build above this, you would still have that hump in the middle, so it'll be over the whole
that's what I
area,
was asking.
going
Yeah,
to a second floor.
yeah.
But he'd need a variance anyway if
Correct.
they did it.
Correct. It'll be,
And if you conditioned it, he'd still need a he would need a variance anyway.
Right.
belt and bootstraps, that's
Yeah.
what it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if
belt
I
and
can speak.
suspenders.
I always feel that my opinion is that maybe the board should stray away from that, but I don't know if I have the right to say that, but only because of what you
have
just
the
said,
right to
because-
say it. We don't have to
No, I
listen.
know, only because a variance, of course, would be needed for any further additions, and
Right.
who knows what the future holds, and the next homeowner who would try to do that, it might be 15 or 20 years from now. The thinking might have changed by then, and then if there's this extra restriction on there, then they have to fight through some extra red tape just to even go before you, or whoever's sitting in those chairs at that time. That's kind of how I look at that personally.
Yeah, the only issue sometimes is that an overzealous salesperson will say, you just have to go to the zoning board,
Right.
and you can pop up this and pop up that.
Right.
And then when they get to us, it isn't always as easy as it
Sure.
was portrayed.
But whether you condition it or not, you still have to come.
Yeah,
Right.
so I don't think it's
I don't think you
necessary.
need
Yes, so I don't.
Okay, good. All right. Steve has recused himself. Okay, Glenn,
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Don, yes. And Joel is absent, excused. Hope he feels better. Application approved, 3 yeses, 0 nays. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Okay. Okay. While he's doing that, do we want to look at the summary, the zoning summary for November and December? I have no problems with them. Do we want to go ahead and approve them?
Yeah.
Okay, the summaries have been approved. You agree?
Yeah, great.
Okay, Steve agrees, so it's 4 yeses and 0 nays. Okay, a motion to, do we have to talk about formally doing anything to get the meetings moved to 7:30?
No, we did that last time.
So there was.
There's some kind of paperwork,
Tara pointed it out. I guess the board has its own
rules.
rules and regulations, and those still indicate that the meetings are gonna take place at 8 PM. My recommendation would be just to orally, indicate now on the record that moving forward, the times for the meetings are gonna be at 7:30, and that Tara can adjust the regulations.
Okay, can I have a motion
So moved.
to, so moved, seconded?
Second.
Okay, we all agree? Okay, the motion to change the rules to a 7:30 start has been approved. Thank you. Okay, and we've adjourned, right? Motion to adjourn, we've all adjourned.
Yeah, we're adjourning.
Very good. Thank you much, everyone.
Can we change the rules to have a mandatory end time?
Sense of humor.